When we say let the past go to bed and that the past is the past and that the only thing that matters is the present and the very now, why is it that some of us that have gone through complex post-traumatic stress disorder or post-traumatic stress disorder or any form of abuse, especially sexual abuse, which is what this post is about today, are not able to get into the present? One of the reasons is because any form of trauma, any abuse is literally lodged inside of our brain, and it creates a map which sets us for life until we become aware of it, or until such a time when an awakening or something with an equal force that was applied to cause that trauma is then applied to dislodge it. And such a force would have to be an opposing force to that of what created the trauma in the first place. Now, what happens if you are a child victim of sex abuse? And if you have been, please watch this video with caution, have somebody with you, or watch it obviously being aware that it might trigger you. Now, what happens to you when you have been sexually abused as a child? Now, when a child is sexually abused as a child or touched inappropriately, it creates a hormonal imbalance. It also creates certain sensations in the child's body that the child does not understand at that time what these are. So these are our pleasure centers which are activated, but of course there is a very, very big contradiction here between what the body is feeling and what you actually want to be. You want to be out of that situation, you want to flee that situation, you want to run away, but you're stuck in that situation as a child. When you're going through this, it creates a lot of confusion with that sensation that it creates. Now, what that means is every time that that sensation is created in you, right? So you will be attracting a mate and you will not know whether it is love or whether it is simply you going back to that same sensation that has been created, and thereby attracting partners that will create a very, very high sexual tension for you, but that these relationships are merely karmic. And karmic relationships mean that you've got something to work out, or as a result of this relationship, it will force you back into the point of when you were first experiencing a breakdown of your whole sense of self, so that it is just your fragment now that wants to come back, that is calling you to repair that, so that that trauma is dislodged. So a woman will associate, or a girl or a man or a boy will associate that sensation with, wow, okay, so this must be love, this must be affection, because I was cheated. I was shown that that was what affection is supposed to be. It came with, whether it is usually family members, right? It's usually people that are in the family who will cause this kind of abuse within or to the child. And what might even make this a bigger problem is when the mother or father or people that the child was to look for security may also be part of this conspiracy, knowingly or unknowingly, by covering it or by putting it under wraps so that it is kept or contained within families, thereby taking away the sense of security as well for the child who goes through such abuse. Unfortunately, this child will have been scarred for life, literally, because this abuse stays in your brain as a map about what relationships are meant to be. What kind of security am I meant to feel in a relationship? How is my partner meant to make me feel? And this is where we will have a lot of toxic relationships. We will have the same pattern on repeat mode until we're able to heal. For us to be able to heal this is a pretty difficult process, because it involves us going back into the initial wound, but not as the adult self. You're walking back as the most vulnerable child self. And for you to do that, you've got to be able to feel that vulnerability, which doesn't always come so easily. So folks, if you've been there, seek out help if you can. And one of the telltale signs, if you've had all of this, is how your relationship is panning out. So if your relationship doesn't have the physical abuse, it could still have it in so many other ways that says danger and love come hand in hand all together. No matter how you resist this, it still keeps coming back. Take care of yourselves. You're awakening, and just know you're no longer that child, and there is a lot that you can do about it. Wherever you are right now, please know you are special, you're wanted, you're loved. You always were, you always will be a very integral and important part of this beautiful universe that we live in.